Welcome to English Stories by Manvi Sharma, where simple stories create powerful lessons.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back. Today, I am going to share a beautiful and inspiring story about responsibility, attitude, and success. Today's story is called The Stone in the Road. It is a timeless story that teaches us how obstacles can become opportunities when we choose to take action. Now, long ago, in a truly prosperous kingdom, there lived a wise king. And this king genuinely loved his people. But he often wondered why so many of them just complained about their problems instead of, actually trying to solve them. He had this deep, thoughtful curiosity about how his citizens really thought. So he decided to test them. Think about it. What actually happens when a huge stone suddenly blocks the absolute busiest road in town? Early one morning, the king secretly placed this massive stone right smack in the middle of the most crowded road leading straight to the market. Then, he quietly hid behind a nearby tree and just waited to see exactly what would happen. This little test of his spanned from the early morning all the way into the evening. Soon enough, a wealthy merchant came riding along in his carriage. He was the very first to face the test. And then came a famous scholar, followed by a steady stream of everyday citizens who would all bump into this massive roadblock. Let's take a closer look at how they actually reacted. When the wealthy merchant saw this huge stone blocking his path, he immediately got angry. "What kind of foolish person left this stone here?" he shouted. And without making even the slightest effort to move it, he just carefully drove his carriage around the stone and went on his way, complaining loudly the whole time. A little bit later, the famous scholar passed by. He looked at the stone, sighed, and just shook his head. "Our kingdom is becoming so careless," he muttered. And yep, he too just walked right around the stone and left.
Throughout the rest of the day, so many people passed by, and they all fell right into the exact same blame game. Some blamed the government, some blamed the king himself, others blamed the local workers. But the absolutely crucial point here is not a single person actually tried to move the stone. They spent all their time and energy complaining, rather than just taking the responsibility to remove the obstacle themselves.
But then, the story shifts. As evening approached, a poor farmer came walking along, carrying a heavy basket of fresh vegetables. He noticed the huge stone blocking the road, but he didn't complain. He didn't roll his eyes or blame anyone. Instead, he just stopped. The farmer stood there and thought for a moment. "If I leave this stone here, someone may get hurt." Placing his basket carefully on the ground, the farmer leaned in and began pushing the heavy stone. And it was incredibly difficult. He slipped several times in the dirt. Sweat rolled down his face. His hands became sore and scraped, but he absolutely refused to give up. He just kept pushing. And after many, many strenuous attempts, the farmer finally managed to move that heavy stone all the way to the side of the road. Completely exhausted, he turned back to the road to grab his things. But as he went to pick up his basket, he noticed something really surprising. There was a small cloth bag lying right there in the dirt, exactly where the stone had been resting. Curious, he reached down and opened it. Inside were several gold coins and a note. These gold coins belonged to the person who removed the stone from the road. The note was signed by the king himself. The farmer could hardly believe his eyes. And at that exact moment, the wise king stepped right out from behind the tree. He smiled warmly at the tired farmer and said, "My friend, you have learned an important lesson." Every obstacle in life is also an opportunity. The people who solve problems instead of complaining about them are the ones who truly succeed. The farmer bowed respectfully, and from that day onward, the story of the stone in the road spread like wildfire throughout the entire kingdom, inspiring everyone to actually take responsibility and act instead of merely complaining. So, let's quickly summarize what this whole explainer has been about today. A wise king placed a large stone in the middle of a busy road, just to test his people. Many citizens walked by, complained about the obstacle, but simply walked around it. Only a poor farmer took the responsibility and put in the hard work to move the stone. And as a direct reward for his action, he discovered gold hidden by the king. Which brings us to the profound moral of our story today. Every obstacle is an opportunity in disguise. Successful people do not complain about problems, they solve them. So the next time you encounter a massive stone blocking your path, ask yourself, are you going to complain and just walk away, or will you take action and uncover the gold hidden beneath it?